Hello everybody, welcome to Crafting Time, and we are live. If whoops, turn that off. If you see that I am on and you see the little red button at the top, then you know I am live. If you don't, that means you're on a replay. We are going to be doing an envelope junk journal. I'm going to show you how I make mine. All right? Doesn't necessarily mean you have to do yours like mine. There's thousands and thousands of ways to make a journal. And it all depends on what you're looking for. Now this is an envelope journal. And what I do is I take an envelope and I measure in. Now these are approximately, say hello if you're here, I'd appreciate it. These are 5.5, so I'm making a small one, by about 4.25, give or take, right? And I go in a 1/2 inch. Now this is a, let me see if I can find one that's, okay. This is the kind of envelope I like to use. I also have used, where's the other ones? I like both. This one as well, which opens here and you have a wider pocket, okay? Either one is just fine. I find that this one works pretty nice for the larger ones, and I like to you use 2 of them. Well, however big, I'm trying to grab another envelope. On the big ones, you're going to open these up and basically slide them in between each other. Like so. And this one, of course, is going to slide into that one. And then you glue that one down. And then what happens is your pockets become here. And then you write your message here. Here's your pocket, you decorate this. Here's your pocket, and your message is there. And it folds like so. All right, so this is one style. I'm not doing this style tonight. I was just showing you. This style here is a little bit different. This one is going to require a little bit of sewing, cutting, a little hot glue, a little fun. So you measure in a 1/2 inch at the bottom, and you're going to mark it with your pen. And then a 1/2 inch on the other side, mark it with your pen. Okay? And I just kind of guessed. I try to follow the point of my envelope straight down to the bottom. And I put a point. Pretty much, right? Then I take, I want to make sure I have them lined up. I don't. So, do I have it the right direction? Yes. So I'm putting in my points. Should have used a different color. Just a minute, for you guys can see what I mean. So it looks like so. I don't know if you can see my dots. They're right here, here, and here. So then I take my darning needle. this big long one I like the best. And I poke it through. Like so. I pre-poke my holes. Now this needle is super, super sharp. Just want to say. The sharper your needle, the better your experience will be. Okay, so I did that to all of my envelopes. I got 7 envelopes here. Now in a junk journal, as you know, they're going to open up like so. Okay? And it's going to open up this way. Again, I'm going to have a flat side and an open side. I got to tip you down just a bit for you can see. Sorry about that. Like so, right? Making sure all my envelopes open. Because you know, sometimes hot glue gets in the way sometimes. Because Kathleen has her hot glue on. And I did mine all different color envelopes. Okay. And then my cards, they're going to go in here, but we're going to have to be trimming these back just a bit because we're taking up the bottom portion. Because remember, we poked our holes in there. Now I also like to make sure all my holes are the same. So I line them up and I make sure they're the same. So we're going to sew them. As you see, I'm making that hole a little bit bigger. Now you could use a hole punch. Thank you, Trisha Ann, for sharing. You could use a hole punch if you want. This hole punch is small, but yet it's bigger than what my sewing would be. So I didn't want that to happen. Now, there's so much you can do to a journal. But first we have to make the binding. We got these all ready to go. These we'll decorate. But we need a piece of cardboard. And this is the only cardboard I had. So we're going to use this. We're going to take it apart. And it's a thin cardboard, to be really honest. A lot thinner than what I normally use. I usually like a little heavier cardboard. And foam board was a little bit too thick. And my other tag board, I wasn't happy with. So I have this out. Now, this usually is about pretty close to your binding that you're going to want. You might not even need it that high, but you want to make sure you have enough binding space in the back, your back of your book. I'm going to sneeze because I have my hot glue on. Excuse me. Oh, gracious. So you're going to need, I always say go like this is about a quarter of an inch, half inch. What did it say? You're not going to have it tight, right? It's not going to be tight. It's going to be loose. You need them loose for when you put your things in these envelopes, you have room to expand. Okay? So that's something to think about. So, I am going to make sure I cut one off. And I think this middle piece here should be pretty good. So that's going to be part of my binding. Now we're going to cut this other side off. Well, let me cut it straighter. Can't cut worth nothing today. Now this is going to go on the outside cover. I'll come back to your messages. I gotta cut this piece off because I cut so crooked. So you want 2 of these. We'll cut it back to what we need it to. Now we want our books. I like to have a little bit of an overlay. So I want to kind of like have it a little overlay here. So I'm going to draw a line here. Okay, then I'm going to come over on this side, staying behind that little bit behind the fold, for I have a little bit of an overlay like a book has. And I'm going to draw a line. Now we're going to cut this out in just a moment. Now I'm going to lift it up just a 1/4 of an inch, making sure I stay in line with my line here. And I am for sure going to draw a line. Again, I'm going to do that same thing over here. Now just kind of eyeball it like you just did. A little bit of a, could use a ruler. I put it somewhere. It was right here. All right. Now this is going to be the outside of the book. So now I can cut here. This is the cover to my book. Hopefully I got these same. And right now you're able to adjust. Let me just cut that right off. We don't need these 2. Where did I put my... Found it. Terrible. All right, I'm just going to make sure it's like right where they look even. It's even with that side, even with that. So we can pretty much cut straight. Right? We can cut straight with crooked scissors, right? Like so. I'm going to save that just in case I screw it up. Now I have this middle piece here. This is way too big here. So I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to cut this middle piece out. And this is how I make books, guys. You can make yours any which way you want. Now I'm going to trim this to make it all even. Remember, we had that little bit of play, so we don't have to so much worry. And I got a little jag there, so let's try to get that jag out of there. Okay, so let's make sure it's the same this way. I'm just being picky. That's all I cut off. A little sliver. Okay, so that's the front and the back. Now, depending on your envelopes, I want the middle of this one, so I'm going to just kind of like line this up to its side, and I'm going to draw a line here. and a line here. Put your 2 pieces together because you're going to need 2 pieces. Preferably the same size. Now, the hardest part of the whole thing is right now. This is easy. This was easy. This is going to be hard. Just thought I'd tell you. This is where I screw up a lot, to be honest. Now, if you have a little folding ridge, which I have on this one, I'm just flattening it out with my fingernail. That's all I'm doing. It doesn't actually have to be perfectly even, but it should be pretty close. Now, I have 7 envelopes. That's what I'm using, 7 envelopes. Oops, didn't do this one. So I need 7 spots on here. This one doesn't matter. This one will matter in just a moment. Thanks for sprinkling. That's so special. Thank you for blessing my nose again. All right, so this is, let's get this in inches, because that's what this is an inch and almost a little over a half. Let's see, 3/4. All right, gotta do some math here. Paper, no paper. Not that paper. So let me think about this one now. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. And you have to do this 3 times because we got the 3 holes. And you want it fairly even. So I'm going to start in about 1/8. What's wrong with this pen? Give me a marker. I have to be able to see it. So we're just going to mark our spots first. We need 7. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That looks awesome. Now you're going to do the same thing up here. 1, 2, 3. See, I do know how to count, guys. 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks about the same. And now I'm just simply going to draw a line that was even. It's a little bit off. 1, 2, and a little bit off. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a crooked 7. Okay. So now I'm going to take my paper, and remember we left a little lip up here and a little lip down here. So we're going to just put this right where we want it, and we're going to draw that line so we know where we're not going to start. Make sure we have about the same distance. As you see, it's like so. All right, and this is a little bit crooked, so I'm going to try to fix this. That little lip is bugging me. There we go. Now I'm going to use a different marker, and I'm going to mark them before I can see them. It's the same color. Because I used red, so I'm going to use green now just to mark my holes in that spot. And you're going to do it on the line, so you want to be able to see your line. This is the hardest part, guys. Why most people don't like to make these kind of journals, but thought I'd show you. And then you're just going to move it to the next line and do the same thing. And if you can draw a straight line or draw dots where you need them, you'll be good. You already have the lines, you just have to do it in those spots. And I make them kind of big, for I can see. I'm such a blind bat. Super. Now that wasn't so hard, now was it? Now you're going to poke holes in every single one of them with the needle you're going to use. So it's going to be pre-poked, easy to sew. So I'm just going to sew a hole through each one of these. And again, it depends on how many you want. And now this is going to give me plenty of space that these envelopes, when I stuff them, will be able to be filled and not be squished. Now it's almost on the end. But as you see, I got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That middle one's a little bit far apart, but we have to go with it. Doesn't look. Hard part's all done. Now we're just putting the holes in. Putting in the holes. And I use my good old-fashioned sewing needle because for upholstery, it just makes the best holes and it keeps its sharpness. Now that other piece that we cut, that's going to be actually on the outside of our sewing. And you're going to be sewing each one of these envelopes in separately. Not all together. They will each have their own spot. And you're going to sew in a figure 8. So there you go. You got your holes. All 7 of them. Straight or unstraight, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to use good old-fashioned twine. I'm not going to need a super lot. I like to use it singly, but you can do it doubly. Put it in the needle first. See how nice and big that hole is? You can do it singly or double, whatever you choose. Now remember, this is only paper, so it's pretty thin. So I'm choosing to use just one. Okay? I'm going to lay my paper here. You start in the center. Now, just gotta work it through that hole. Maybe I'll cut one off. I got a little too much here. One of you have to come out. There you go. Let's make that. You're not going to need a whole lot. Now you want to make sure you leave a little bit here in the center, because that's going to be your tying. So you're going in one. I'm going to cut some of this back so you don't have to look at all this. You need that much. Save that for the next one. Okay. Now you came out this side, so now you're going to go in this side. Again, you're going to follow your holes. See that? I don't think I need that much over there. Now you're going to come back through here and go back through that first hole. Don't pull it tight yet. You need a little bit of give for yourself. Now you can pull that kind of tight. How did I go right through that? Are you serious? That's right. We'll just go with it. Again, you're going to do that same thing. Go in your back of your binder, through your envelope, pull it through. Now this is on one side. See how I made a figure 8 there? Now I'm going to come back and go through this center hole one more time. Then you're going to tie this. I just tie a knot. You can tie a bow if you want. I tie a knot. And then I just kind of trim it off. Okay. Now you're going to do the next page. Now you can fold this over because you're making a book. So that's nice. I can still open it. See? Now I'm going to do the next one. That's not going to be enough. It's not hard to do, guys. It's just staying a little bit organized. Grab your next envelope. Now, it doesn't matter what order you have them. You can have them all the same color, friends. You don't have to have them all different colors. If you're doing the envelope style of this side, you want, I suggest that you have them, all the envelopes going the same direction. That's just me, myself, and I talking there. That's how Kathleen does it. That's what I recommend. So you start in the middle. You're in the second row now. keep that out. Gonna go over to the second hole. Now you're gonna do this just a little bit different because now you're not on the end, so you can't just sew it. Okay, but you're still gonna do the figure 8. Again, you're going right through that second hole. And up here, you're going to go through that second hole. And you're going to go through that second hole again. Back up to the first hole. Come through that first hole behind the envelope. Back through that bag, the envelope, to this hole. Now you want to pull it nice and snug, but not too tight, because you want to be able to, you know, that one has to loosen up just a bit. Gotta pull the right one. And it gets kind of tricky a little bit. You want it snug. And it's being awful picky on me. I want that one slide. Alright, go this way. I have a very loose end here. Might have to redo it. This one side got really loose somehow. Nice and snug there. Okay. Oh. All right, we're just going to redo this. Somehow I tied it in a double knot here somehow. Sorry. I screwed up. Typical. All right. Oh, because I sewed it right through the string. Guys, that's not the best idea. Cut it off. If you do mistakes like I do, just cut it off, and I got plenty. This first one's still attached. Toss those in the garbage for they get out of my way. That one's too small. All right, let's do it again. Sorry. Middle. Leave enough out here. And I pulled it right out, I think. Then you're going in the second one. Far hole. Keeping it firm. Now don't sew through your string. That's what I did. That's why I couldn't move it. See how nice and tight that is? That's what you want. Come over here to this hole. Go through that middle hole there. Make sure your strings are tight. Now you're coming up through that first hole behind the envelope. And through this hole. This time it better work. Ta-da! See, when you do it right, it works. And I just tied in a nice little knot. I'm going to leave a little excess here, just to have a little loose. Not over loose. It's loose, but it's not over loose. Cut it off. I think I have enough to go. Not going to chance it. Now see, that wasn't so hard now, right? It's a figure 8, and once you figure it out, that figure 8, you'll always have it. Grab your next one. Make sure your envelope's the same direction. In the center, you're on the third envelope. Don't lose your string. Third hole. Through the envelope and that middle hole. Keeping it tight but not over tight. Far side and that hole. Tight but not extremely tight. Now you're going to go through the middle hole again. It's nice. It's a little loose, but not too loose. See? It's a little loose, but not too loose. Okay, now you're going to fold this over. You got to come up between them. You're coming up in that second one, second hole. Behind the bag. or your envelope. And then you're going to come through that first hole. What was that? Oh, I have no viruses, guys. Isn't that great? That's what it says. No viruses. And now you're going to tie that. Now in that party, cut those strings off. Like so. Now see how it's starting to bind there? These are on there pretty securely. Now this one, I didn't bend the envelope, so I'm going to bend that envelope so it can fold and twist with all the other envelopes so they can open like so. Now I'm using different bags just because I thought you guys could see it better. Don't worry, I won't throw those strings out. I'm making something really cool, guys. You know how I did that string base? I'm gonna do, I saw the coolest thing. I looked up a whole bunch of string art and doing, it was just cool. It was the same kind of thing, except afterwards they used plaster Paris and they made a beautiful, oops, too far here now. Okay, I went through the center again. They made a beautiful jewelry case, and I'm going to try to make one. Just a minute, my envelope is sliding on me. Give myself some rope. Hurry on, fourth hole. Making my figure 8. I thought I lost it. Up through this hole. Back down through the center one. Oops. Now, fold your envelope just where the holes aren't showing. And you're going to come up through that last hole there, in between the hole and the envelope, and then come up through. Oops, pulled it right out. So you're kind of angling it back to come up in that middle hole here of the middle loop, middle of your bag or your envelope, whatever you're going to use. Make sure it's loose but not too tight. Somehow I get loose on one side and not the other. I don't understand that, but hey, that is the way it is. There we go. Untie it. There's plenty on this one to do my next one. Now this is already folded, but do you see this is coming out really nice? Can open it very easily. I left enough room. Now this is going to be glued onto that other piece that we saved. It's going to bind it shut. All right. So far so good, guys. You liking this? That's what makes you stop. I admit to my mistakes. Yeah, well, you know, if you don't admit to them, then you're a right down liar, right? That's my belief. Not too far. I talk to myself too. But it does take time to put them together. And I just lost that one, so just a moment. Do it again. Golly jeepers, come on. It'd be awful nice if I had my glasses down here. My brother is not getting well, guys. Make sure you say some prayers for him, will you? I do kind of need them. I'm trying not to sew my thread. That's what I've been doing lately, is sewing my thread. Through the middle. Pull it kind of tight. Lay it down. Fold this one over so you can come up in between them. Go into that last hole. And that middle hole gets super tight, guys, so just have to be a little careful because you're going at, well, I just made my own little hole. That will work as well. It's just right next to it, so pull it kind of tight, not too tight, and tie your knot. 2 more bags. Envelopes, sorry. Lots of times I use bags, guys. That's why I keep saying bags. But I'm out of bags, and I have a ton of envelopes. 2 more. We're going to have the white next, or whatever color this might be. Now in a junk journal, friends, you can make them any, like, for decorating them, however you want to do them. Now this one, I'm just going to do it as a, I'm going to do it as a crafty, well, okay, we'll use the other end. That side split on me. This one's still nice and tight. I don't fuss around with things, guys. If it gives you a problem, toss it out and throw it away. Oh, this envelope got a little stuff on it, but we're going to go with it anyway. But anyway, you can make them into art journals. You can make them into picture journals. You can make them into whatever. Recipe journals. If you have, you know, grandma's old recipes, and you want to share them with your family, put them inside. And again, it doesn't matter how many you have. You just want to make sure it fits. Just a minute, I don't want to let go of that. There we go. It has to fit inside your little bag or your envelope or whatever you want to use. I watched a lady the other day on YouTube use boxes, and I never thought of using boxes. I thought, how cool is that? Okay, so I'm coming up here, not letting go, pulling it kind of tight. We didn't fold this over. I'm going to fold it just behind the holes, so the holes don't show when you fold it. Okay, and I got it nice and tight here. Now we're going back one hole. Come up in between the bags. And I missed. And then you have to angle it right into that second hole. Whoops. Just a minute. That is a little hard spot to do, guys, so don't think you're going to do it in one try. Doesn't always work that way. But it locks your stitch, and that's why you're doing it that way. Again, tied in a knot. We're going on the last one. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've been doing this forever. Plenty left here to get that last one on. Now be careful, because this one's right on the edge, so it's very easy to rip it, and I tell you, it's a bummer when you do if you happen to pull too tight, that it will rip not only your item here, but it will also rip your binding, and then you'll have to start all over. Make sure that's, now this is the last one here, so you want to make sure it's like tight in the back. You want that one to be good, the best. And once you get the hang of it, it's pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm going to go through those. Now I suggest that you go back around to that back hole just like you were doing. Let's fold this over. Like so. Now we're coming up through that hole, but right into that one from this hole. See, right between the envelopes, and coming straight up. Ta-da! We got it, and tied in a pretty knot. You can tie it in bows too if you're a good bow tire. I can do bows, but knots I like. Done with it. Ta-da! Now your book is bound. See? All bound together. Right? Set that aside. Now we got to get this onto our we got to make our book piece. Now that's not very straight. These the same pieces. Thought I had them all straightened out. Now that I look good. So now we're going to make our book. I need my ironing board. So this is the ironing board. I'm making a red book. This is just a piece of red old Star Bright fabric. And we're going to iron it. But first let's measure what we need and don't need. So you're going to leave just a little bit of fold where you can fold it over a little bit here, and it's going to fold over on this one, fold over on that, and you're going to have them pretty close together, but you got to leave a little bit of gap. Now remember, we've already bound this, right? This is already done, so this is actually just going to be hot glued right inside there. So when this folds up, you're going to be able to bind it, you know, but we're not gluing this on yet. And I was hoping, I have to grab my fabric holder, or my, hold on, hold that thought. We're going to be using this, we're going to put this on it. Look, first we're going to iron it, so let me do that. My computer should be good and charged, so I can unplug the computer for a second. Now what I suggest when you do this is you cut your fabric the way you want it. This is going to heat up so we can work on that. I'm going to use my pinking scissors. Now let's see. This side's already been pinked, so let's use that end. Really doesn't matter. I want enough to where I can fold over. You know, because you're going to put a piece of paper on that. You're going to decorate it. So how much are we going to need? That looks... I'm cutting it a little bit big. I'd rather have a little big than too small and have to redo it. Stuff out of here. I moved it all, so I have to move it all back. This is just going to give an eyeball start. I'm going to probably recut it in just a moment. Sorry for the rackety noise of my cutting board. Let me get this stuff out of the way. Now I'm going to iron this first because I don't want any wrinkles on it. Well, it can have some wrinkles because I'm going to chalk a tour on it, probably put something cute on there. This is just getting out some of my wrinkles. And it's a very sparkly little item. Oh, I didn't see that. Did not see that. That will be okay. We can cut that off. Ooh, that was a close one, guys. It has a little red line here. I did not see that. It has I didn't sparkle this fabric. This was already pre-sparkled, so it had a white or a flat line there. Okay. Now we want to make sure we have enough. Now we're going to fold that. Now you can either glue this, guys, or you can fabric use it. But I just want to make sure I have it pretty okay. I think I'm wrong. So I think I can cut this side off just a bit. Okay, that's looking all right. Take these off for just a moment. Grab a little piece of this. Flip it over and iron it on to this piece. We'll slide it up. And it peels off this. We'll peel that off. Take that piece. Now I'm going to cut it, just plain old cut it now. I'm going to try to cut it a little straighter than what I have it here. Now, if you're one of those people that can cut this stuff like perfect, bless your heart, go for it. Kathleen can't. Cutting off any of this excess so I don't have any extra glues. I have a little piece there. Whoops. how that all happened, but there you go. Now you're going to peel this off. It should peel. Just give me a second. It's not like a napkin, but it's similar. So you'll come up with a glossy side. It's pretty glossy there. You peel this paper off. Save that, because you're gonna go over this one more time. Oh, there has to be step on it. Lay this down. Have your 3 pieces. Like so. You see how I'm doing that? Slowly. I do it all at once. We can add a little hot glue on that one corner, so we're not going to worry about that. We'll slide this down in just a moment. And fold that. Really crease it where it stays firm. Now we're going to put the binder there. It's not heated yet. Except for that one spot. Gotta love it. Get it. And there, you want it as close as you can get it. Get in there. I'm just pushing it as close as I can get it. It already heated, so I can't do anything about it. Slide this one down. And make sure we leave a little bit. Okay, bind that one down. Doesn't take much. I'm going to flip this. And then this, I think we can cut this down just a little bit before we completely seal it. And we're going to fold that over. Like so. So as you can see, we have our folder. See? Pretty cool, right? Now, oops, before we go any farther, we're going to open this back up. I'm going to put this paper on top because I don't want it to scorch. My fabric, it's not a steam one. And you're going to press that down. That's how Kathleen does her books. Super cool. As you see, still has its bind. Alright, now I gotta unplug my iron because the iron is now done. Well, no it's not. Hold on. I forgot to do this part. Alright, so you want this to look cute. You don't want it to look bare like that. You want it to look super cool. And that's the front. Front and back. Right? So you're going to decorate this. You don't have to do this part because this is where this is going. You're making a journal. So you're going to leave a little bit of the, what's this called? Twine showing because it's a journal, guys. It's not a book. If it was a book, that stuff wouldn't be there. Okay? That would be a whole different subject. I'll do that another day. Now, I like to have my books match front and back. So I try to find paper that will match. And I just use stuff like this. This is out of a Bright's book. I don't know what you call it. One of those books. Someone gave me that, and I've only used it for books. Okay, so now we're going to use our straight edge. And we're going to need it probably, well, hey, our cards would fit perfect. Look at that. But it's not pretty. So let's do that. As our guide. And this is just a Cricut cutter. I got both papers there. Ooh, put this tape here. Keeping it together. Bring it to its edge. And these are super sharp cutters, guys. I love Cricut stuff. I use more of it for non-Cricut things than I do for Cricut. Of course, if my Cricut was working, it would be awesome. So I got my papers cut. We're going to do exactly that same thing on these two. Just ironing them right on. That's the fastest and easiest. Let's see. That's not going to be enough. Scissors. Just had them. Guys, I just had my scissors. Oh. They went a-traveling. And this isn't cut very straight, so we're just going to eyeball it. And again, you don't have to be exact. Just put it on. And I'm just going to cut a piece. And I think I'll just make it go all the way across. Why not? side seems really crooked, so let's try this side. Completely crooked. I just eyeball, friends, if you haven't noticed. That's better. And we need to cut off so. I'm just going to bind it all at once. We'll have to glue that. You can add a little hot glue if you need. That should be almost like a perfect fit. Not probably completely perfect, but it's a little crooked. And a little bit too long. So we will cut it off on this shorter end. Alright, let's iron that down. That should be about okay. I think I think it's going to be okay. Go for it. Quit picking it. And as you saw, I didn't go right to that corner because that's the corner that has the issue of being crooked. So I'm just really pressing hard, making that come translucent to a degree, not completely. And then you're going to peel off your paper. You can let it cool, or you do you see that? Whoops. All right. So now, don't use that burnt spot. I just burned my name right off. I'm going to put this down right there. Try to make sure I have that covered there. It's kind of warm. And I have a little bit of this, so I'm going to try to roll it, peel it up just a little bit. It's still warm, so I can kind of like fingernail it in. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like roll it up, stick it in. Grab your other sheet. That one's going to go here. Again, covering it up. I had that long piece of. And now you're going to iron it again. Shiny side down. Don't do the middle. Now Oh, isn't that adorable? Okay, unplug that and plug back my computer so I don't forget. Okay, so you have this. Now, isn't that nice? Let me move my iron. Don't touch it, it's hot. We can move this stuff too now. It's funny that burnt. Alright, now we're going to connect a book. Woohoo! The very end of this, guys, and then you can stuff your envelopes to whatever you would love to have in there. Now, personally, I like my envelopes that when I open my book, here's what it's going to be. When I open my book, this is going to come like this. I can open this and I have my gifts, right? Or whatever's in there. If you do it this way, which is also fine, then they have to open this way and they take out left-handed. I'm making a right-handed book because that's most of my family. Now this is already, you know, we're going to iron that part if I can get this to glue on like right away. And my glue is not working. There we go. Something happened. There. Okay, my hot glue gun decided to quit on me. It happens. So we're going to use some wood glue. Where's my wood glue? Situations all the time, man. Now watch, my wood glue be all empty. Like I said, it could be empty. More than enough. I'm going to spread it around just on that wood. Whoops, I hit the edge there. Now friends, you can do your book any way you want. It's up to you to decorate and create a book that will work for you, whether it's recipes, arts, crafts, stories, family photos, whatever you want. Now I'm just going to go right down this edge and take off that little extra because I used wood glue. I don't know what happened to my new hot glue gun, but okay. Things can happen. It'll happen to Kathleen. You just got to understand that. So now you're going to take this hot glue. I would hot glue this, but you know, it doesn't seem to be working at all, which is kind of odd. I'm just going to see if I can smackle. I think that hot glue just like melted itself. Bummer. That's a brand new one too. That's that just makes me mad, that's all. So now you're going to put this in your space that you want. Now I'll probably hot glue it once my hot glue decides to cool. like so. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to hope my iron is just a little bit hot still, that I can just kind of press that down. This wasn't a step I was planning on. And there you have a very cute open book. You can put your things inside your envelopes, and your book is ready to go, guys. Now, I hope you like this. This is a very fun project. It is lengthy, especially when you try to tell people how to do it. Like I said, I didn't iron my envelopes because they would have sealed shut. But there you have a cute book. I'm sorry my hot glue is not working to be able to finish that part. But that's the way it is. Now you can decorate this. You can chalk a tour on here now, or whatever you want. You know, this is all sealed. It's sealed. It's on there. I can't pull it off. So the hot glue, or not the hot glue, but the little fabric bonding that I used, and the wood glue and the heat sealed it. So now let's just put a fun little something or another. Oops, come here. Gracious me. Well, definitely not doing Christmas. I got my Valentine's here somewhere. Crazy little thing called love would be a real cute name on that. Or true love, if it was a true love, or love in the air. I can make a truck. I think I'll do the envelope. I think I'll do both of those. And I'm going to do them in white, just to show you. These have been used so many times I don't even have to prep them. And I'm going to do this one kind of like sideways. And then this one down here towards the bottom, just like so. Now maybe a pink envelope and white words might be really cute on here. Let's see, that doesn't kind of go with it. Purple does not go with it. Oh, see, now this is I didn't think about that part. That matches. I think it's going to have to be the light pink. And again, keep it as simple as you want, or as hard as you want. It's your choice. And I'm just going to do this whole thing. I could have done it all white as well. And I'm just scraping it. I also could have burned it, guys, with the burn. That worked well. Stick that there. Let's use the bright white. Don't have much of that left. I'm going to have to order that. I don't like this one. So I have another one. What is this one? Shimmer and white will work. Oh, much better. way too much. Don't screw it up. Now, no matter what I put in here, it's going to be a perfect book. Really pushing that through. Sweet. That other piece fell down. Now just to show you, looks like so. Really, really cute. Love it. And then I have a sticker that I put on the back. It says handmade. I moved my table around, so just give me a second. And that's what I put on the backs of most of my, those are my fish. Goodness. Well, I can't find them right now. I know they're on my table here. Happy birthday. Oh, goodness sakes. How can I lose things just that quickly? Well, there. Handmade, just for you, it says. These are just little totally stick-on stickers. Now you can put this on the back, on the side, but I like to put it back here in the center. And now, handmade for you. And then I'll write a little message here and they can start enjoying a book. So there you go. That is my book of love. I hope you like it. Super fun. Little bit of work, but hey, it's really cute. And when my hot glue decides it wants to work, I'll take it all apart and see what its problem is. But your book is done. All I have to do now is fill it with some fun stuff. That's super sweet. Handmade with total love, guys. Really fun. I lost my water besides. Gracious me. There we go. We'll use that water there. That's my paint water, but that's okay. Did you like this? Good night, Wayne. We are done. We made it through this lovely process, and I hope you guys all like it. Give me hearts if you love it. I just thought it would be super cool to have something fun and different. Haven't seen people make very many journals, and I know some people, thank you guys. You know, it takes time to make. Don't doubt that. These are just envelopes. Maybe next week I'll do the other journal with other bags. That one is a little bit more simpler and a lot more hot glue. Thank goodness I didn't do that one tonight because my hot glue is not working. So I can't finish my edges here. Now, if you have those little bookmark things, you know, the corner things, they look really sharp on here. I am out. I thought I had some and I didn't. I have one. They're just little metal corner pieces that you just pinch on. And they look really cute and it finishes it all up. So that would probably be the only extra item I will add to our cute little book. And then if you want to add a title here on the side, you know, you can also do that. So thank you everybody for everything. Hope you had fun. Sprinkle this out. If you have questions on them, just just page me or well, text me, I guess it's now. Page, God, I haven't used that word forever. And I will be glad to help you through the process. And y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. It's a cool book. I can't wait to stuff it. Okay, I'll see you all later. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for all those hearts. Appreciate it.